Natural sa ating mga Pilipino ang pagkahilig sa musika. Sa katunayan, marami na tayong mga kababayang kinikilala sa buong mundo dahil sa angking talino sa musika. Bukod kasi sa bahagi na ng ating kultura ang musika, likas na rin sa ating mga Pilipino ang talagang magagaling umawit.
Tama po yan. Hilig po talaga natin ang musika. Karaniwan ito lalo na pag may mga selebrasyon. So nariyan yung mga nagbivideoke, nagkakaraoke, na talagang nagpapagalingan pang bumirit. Kaya naman, maituturing na ang musika ay parte na ng buhay nating mga Pilipino.
Ngunit ang musika ay hindi lamang para patutugin pag may okasyon o kasiyahan. Sa ngayon, alam niyo ba na pwede na rin itong gamitin upang makatulong magpagaling? Music therapy. Yan ang pag-uusapan natin kasama si Rich Abante Moats, isang music therapy program coordinator sa Florida, US.
At usapang musika pa rin with Gabby and Rona kasama ang mag-asawang Christian musicians and learn how they use their God-given talents not just in their career professions but also in the ministry. Abangan yan sa ating Espresso Self.
Tuberculosis. Yan naman ang pag-uusapan natin sa ating Doc Talks with Doc Leah and Daislyn. Unawain natin kung paano nga ba mapapagaling o maiiwasan ang isa sa pangkaraniwang sakit ng mga Pilipino.
Kaya't pagsaluhan natin ang lahat ng yan sa isang oras ng makabuluhang kwentuhan. Ako si Reza Abante Yebra.
At ako naman, si Bishop Ruben Abante. Join us and let's have good talk over good coffee. Welcome to
Lighthouse Cafe.
The Philippines is a musically inclined country, and music is ingrained in the souls of the Filipino people, so to speak. And I myself, hindi nga ako exempt sa mga bagay na ito because music has been an integral part of my life. And I remember, as a small child, ako at ang aking mga kapatid, Reza, ay palaging umaawit. Meron kaming Abante 4, and we would sing old gospel songs, mga southern gospel, ng mga pang-quartet na mga awit.
Wow, so obviously growing up in a musically inclined family, ako rin ay very much influenced by music. Growing up listening to music and singing together with my dad has become a special bonding experience for our family. And now in my own young family, music has also become a learning device for my son. Sa ating namang society, karamihan sa mga kabataan ay ginagamit ang musika as a form of escape or reprieve. But more than that, music has reached a new frontier.
There is this relatively new practice called music therapy, in which music and its forms help to actually heal physical ailments, and not just as an outlet for emotional relief. And with us today, I'm very proud to say, ay ang pamangkin kong si Rich Abante Moats. Currently, the music therapy program coordinator and internship training director sa Florida Hospital in Orlando, USA. Rich, welcome to Lighthouse Cafe.
Thank you so much. I'm so glad to be here.
Ayan, no? Nako. Ano palagay mo?
Magkakantahan tayo dito.
Magkakantahan tayo dito. But help us understand, Rich, ano ba ang music therapy and how it is different from yung mga kung ano-ano pang therapies?
Yes. So it's interesting, Tito Ruben, because you mentioned that music therapy is a relatively new field. Actually, in the States, music therapy has been around since the 50s, after the World Wars.
Oh, okay.
And so, ang nakita nila is that when they were bringing the veterans in, they started to play some music in the hospitals. And the physicians and the medical staff saw the positive effects that music had. And so, yun yung pinakasimula ng music therapy as a means to relieve ailments. And as a definition, music therapy is the clinical and applied use of music and different interventions na ginagamit ng music by a credentialed professional. Ibig sabihin, dapat may specific degree in music therapy na nakatapos ng sa approved school plus a minimum of 1,200 clinical field hours of training.
Wow. So may degree talaga.
Yes, may degree talaga. At kailangan trained ka sa mga different sites and internship sites bago ka matawagin na music therapist. At merong certification board for music therapist exam bago mo tawagin ang sarili mong music therapist. So I try to tell everyone, it's kind of the same for any discipline, right?
Yes.
You have to have specific training to do what so that you can have goals and apply it specifically. Kasi maraming musikero, di ba? Maraming magandang intention na gamitin ng music para sa
So, I'd like to ask, what sort of ailments ang talagang specific na ina-address nito?
So, wide-ranging ang needs and goals that we address as music therapists. It could be physical, emotional, neurological, cognitive, and sometimes even spiritual.
Physical?
Yes,
Wow.
physical. So, sa hospital setting, iba-iba kasing model yan. The model that I follow, I'm a medical music therapist. So, nasa ospital ako. So, the way that I may do music therapy with a stroke patient will look different when I do music therapy with, let's say, a teenager that has cancer. Or it will look different if I'm doing music therapy with a premature infant in the neonatal ICU.
So you do music therapies, no? Dito sa mga iba-ibang klaseng cases.
Correct.
Pero is it like, for all cases, pwede kang mag-apply ng music therapy?
Yes.
Or may-
I think intrinsically,
Paano kung bingi?
that's a good question. I'm not kidding. That's a really good
Itatranslate
question.
niya.
But what's great about music, and this is what's amazing to me, how God created music,
Yes.
is it's not just what you hear. It's also what you feel.
Oh, yes.
So while what you may think is mainly auditory, a lot of the different interventions that we provide, it's music paired with a sensory stimulus, right? So auditory and tactile, let's say. Or if I'm working with a deaf patient,
Yes.
I may use an instrument that has lots of vibration so that they can feel it and they can respond accordingly.
Okay.
I may give them an instrument. And a lot of the misconceptions that people think, so do you go around playing music for everyone? That's actually not the case. Music therapy is not prescriptive in nature. I don't go, you're sick, so here, listen to this music and you're healed. It's not like that. It's very interactive. So we're
you have to be
sharing music
present.
together. Yes, we have to be present. Because the positive effect that music has happens within the context of a therapeutic relationship between the therapist and the client. Much like a doctor and a patient
like with
or a
other
physical
ano din,
therapist.
therapy.
Or,
I wonder, what sort of music do you use for a certain case?
yes.
I've heard, Reza, na meron mga music din na masama ang dating sa mga tao, di ba?
Yes.
Lalo pag sintonado. Hindi naman,
Stressful.
Very stressful, oh.
Pero ano din, di ba? Like for example, sa mga babies recommended yung classical music.
Yes.
Parang ganun din ba yung ginagawa? Or
So, I think it's interesting that you mentioned that because I think the study that you're referring to is what's called the Mozart effect.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that study is actually inconclusive because that study was done with a group of college students very small. So in terms of science, the scientific context, it's not the most conclusive research study. So in the music therapy literature, ang most effective genre is patient and client preferred based on their needs. So,
ano pag gusto ng patient rock music? Pwede ba yun?
pwede, pero
okay.
that's why importante yung therapist kasi hindi mo lang ipi-play yung CD. So let's say I go in, I may use that song to start and build rapport, but I may change it depending on their needs. So let's say a Beatles song, let's say.
Yeah, right.
My dad used to be a fan of the Beatles. I may use a Beatles song, but I'm looking at their physiological responses, their heart rate, their respiration rate, their oxygen saturation rate, and if they're in a state, maybe they're vented, nakakabit sila sa respiratory machine, and I know that a lot of different things can overstimulate them.
Bigla.
Right. I will change the way that the music is presented so that the emotional aspect, it's still familiar to them, right? Because they have a relationship with that song. But I'm changing it based on what I see, how they respond behaviorally and physiologically.
Two things, Anaka, no? And Rich. I know that the last of the organs na nawawala sa tao is the
hearing.
Hearing, no? In fact, I for one, no? Pag may binibisita sa ospital, kahit na parang unconscious na o nasa coma na, no? Nakakomatose na, I still talk.
Yes.
I still talk. I still pray for them. At alam mo,
They can hear.
nagre-respond.
Yes.
Nagre-respond. Now, ang pinaghuhugutan ko dito, coming from me being a pastor, being a preacher, music is always a part of worship. Okay? Our services. Kaya nga ang sabi natin, ang music talaga is the right hand of preaching. Because it conditions everyone. Kahit may pumunta sa church, halimbawa na malaki problema, malaki yung kabigatan, no? At bigat na bigat siya, masyadong problema ang kabigatan niya. But then, pag maganda ang music, naihahanda lahat, naseset ang stage, you know, so that they would be ready. So ganun din ito.
Yes. I like that you said yung hearing is one of the last things to go. Because a lot of times in the hospital, I go in when the person is actively dying. The medical staff consult us to come in with a chaplain, and we consult with the family, and we play music that's familiar and endearing to the patient and their family. So the familiar music is one of the last things to go. And while there is a positive emotional effect, there's also a positive physical effect, because a lot of times, kapag actively dying ng pasyente, maraming terminal agitation, restless, or you know, if their pain medication is being weaned, syempre you don't know, nakikita mo lang sa physiological responses. So the way that I present the music,
Nagiging kalmado.
Ikakalma. It helps to calm the physical environment, but it also helps calm the emotional environment. Just imagine this, okay? In one case, I got called in when a patient was actively dying. So I consult with the family, I play the music that they prefer and that's dear to them and their patient. Nung namamatay na yung pasyente, as in the heart rate is starting to go down, like to 0. I was there. And it allowed the family to have a safe space to be emotional. So umiyak sila kasi talagang kasama na yung music sa nag-cause na to help them become emotional. So as a therapist, I have to stay calm, you know, I have to distract myself.
Mahirap yun,
Napakahirap. But after, lumapit sa akin yung pamilya, ang sabi nila sa akin, alam mo, nakita ko talaga yung epekto ng music kasi medyo kumalma yung patient namin, yung mahal namin si buhay. Pero I couldn't imagine that moment any other way, or else that they would have just been crying that whole time. But what our loved one heard is the crying of the people who loved him, but also the music that was dear and familiar to him all his life.
So you did not only address the need ng may sakit, but you addressed the need of the
family.
whole
Correct.
family.
Because for us, the patient obviously is the primary patient that we are there for, but the families and loved ones are always secondary patients.
What about
to us
the age
as well.
brackets? Huh?
We see a variety of patients from 0 to elderly.
Halimbawa, kung buntis pa lang, pwede na.
Yeah, actually, one of the most latest things that we've been doing in my program is where we get consulted by physicians in what's called the perinatal high-risk unit. Ito yung mga nanay na buntis na may complication sa pregnancy nila. So as you can imagine, pag na-admit sila sa ospital, they don't know how long they're gonna be there. They might be there until manganak sila. So it's always in a high-stress environment, usually. So we come in and we help them relax. We use relaxation techniques, breathing, we pair that with music. But at the same time, we may write a special lullaby with the mom dedicated to their child, so they feel like they're involved with what's gonna happen next. They don't feel like they're out of control. And a lot of times, for these moms, nakikita din namin yung mga anak nila sa NICU, so nagiging pasyente din namin. So may continuity of care.
Have you done some things for Alzheimer?
Yes, we do. Actually, music therapy has been shown to be effective a lot in the Alzheimer's dementia population.
I see.
How does it help?
Yeah, because there's something about music that's ingrained in the memory part of the brain that
Yes.
while all the other functions of life, eating, walking, maybe remembering your son's name or your husband's name, ang music that you listen to in your young adult
Yes.
years, it's still ingrained. So
Right.
we use music for a lot of different things to decrease agitation. A lot of times, Alzheimer's patients, madali silang ma-agitate. Pero pag when you present music na familiar to them, nadidecrease
Lalo na it's a
yun.
fact na ang nagre-retain talaga sa memory ng isang yung long term.
Yes,
Correct.
long-term
Yes.
memories, exactly. So even as basic songs like Happy Birthday, but even hymns, especially
Oh,
sa
yes.
Amerika, dahil marami sa kanila lumaki sa church, we
Right.
bring in hymns. A lot of times you may see patients that do not talk and communicate, but when you start singing a song with them, they remember every single word, which is amazing. So it's also used as a communication tool.
What about for physical healing? Kasi you also mentioned it
Yes.
earlier. Ano naman ang music therapy for that?
So sa program namin, in our hospital, we have an inpatient neurorehabilitation unit. And there, we co-treat a lot with physical therapists, speech therapists, and occupational therapists for the stroke patients and traumatic brain injury patients. Kasi yung mga functioning natin
Yung
na
trauma,
nanggagaling sa iba't ibang parte ng brain, pag nagkaroon ka ng stroke or traumatic brain injury, nasusugatan yun, di ba? So you may lose some of that functioning, which nangyari yan, na-stroke si papa ko, so I know exactly what that means. minsan you lose your ability to communicate or to speak. But this is what's amazing about music. Music is processed in the brain even subconsciously. Our brains respond to rhythm. So a lot of times when I go to physical therapist, yung mga pasyente na may stroke na may irregular gait pattern, let's say,
right.
what they have to do usually without music therapy is kailangan nila i-cue left, right, left, right. Use your swing, use your arm swing.
Right.
But when we pair it with music and using rhythm as an external cue, they don't have to do that. It automatically syncs up to the rhythm. So a lot of times it normalizes without a whole lot of cueing. So they can focus on the quality rather than cueing left, right. And it's amazing. The idea is, kunwari, kung nagja-jogging ka, di ba? So, nakikinig ka sa music. Mamaya, na-realize mo, nagja-jog ka na dun sa pace na pinakikinggan mo. Kung mabilis, kung mabagal. Ganun din yung idea na yun, dahil nga subconscious ang pag-process
So therefore, you have to have a wide repertoire.
Yes, correct.
Wow.
And wide repertoire and also a high level of musicianship. So as music therapists, we are supposed to be able to play, we're required to play piano, guitar, and voice. And also have a good concept of rhythm.
Dito ba sa Pilipinas may music therapists?
As far as I know, wala akong kilalang practicing music therapist sa iba't ibang institution. I've only heard of one person. But I know that St. Paul College of Music, St. Paul Pasig, I think they are starting the very beginnings of a music therapy program. But I think it's still very, very early. So they won't have any graduates for the next couple of years.
Magaling, ano. Rich, would you be willing to show us?
Sure.
For example, si Reza may sakit. Hindi, no.
Talaga ako?
One from your experience. So, may setting. Tell us the setting.
I will tell you about this case. In the hospital that I work at, we have pediatrics and adults. And in this one case, I got consulted by the staff because merong pasyente na baril sa likod. So, na-paralyze siya from the waist down. And teenager. Ang background pa nito, very bad social situation, galing sa gangs, galing sa bad part of town, bad family situation, really, really bad. So, they called us in because meron ng psych consult, but yung teenager, alam niya, he knew what's up. So, he didn't want to talk to the doctor. He didn't want to express himself. So, I came in. Initially, what we did was we just improvised.
Okay.
On a percussion instrument and on the guitar. And nag-open up siya. Ayaw niya makipag-usap, okay? Ayaw niya makipag-usap sa social worker, sa counselor, sa doktor. But he opened up to music. So nagsimula kami doon. After a few sessions, he was in the hospital for 100 days. I saw him at least 2 to 3 times a week. Ang nangyari noon, since nag-open up siya sa music a lot, gusto niya matuto ng gitara. So dinala ko yung gitara ko. And kwento ko sa kanya, merong artist na nanggaling sa school ko, Berklee College of Music, si John Mayer, magaling mag-gitara. So, I like that. I like that. So, dinala ko tong song na to called Say What You Need to Say. And I use what's called a songwriting intervention. Iba-iba yung mga interventions na ginagamit namin. Pero this one, it's mainly to help him express himself in a structured way. So, pilinay ko sa kanya original version ng song. And nagustuhan niya. So sabi ko, let's try something. Let's write your own version of this song, describing what you've been through. Remember that up to this point, he still has not talked to anyone about his situation. So through this song, he was able to express himself and listen closely to the words. Kung sa mga listeners familiar ko sa song na to, siguro malalaman niyo yung differences dun sa yung words talaga niya na sinulat niya.
Siya nagsulat.
So
I used therapeutic verbal techniques counseling to get to the lyrics. And so that's part of the therapy process and the music making.
So you brought out the musician sa kanya.
Yes. And actually, it ended up na sumulat kami ng 6 na kanta original after that.
Oh, may sense of accomplishment.
Yes. Ito yung song na Say What You Need to Say sa version ng pasyente na si Neil. Take out all of my frustrations, every little bits and pieces. Tickle of my throbbing headaches. Better put them in a time capsule. Say what you need to say. 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 So, alalahanin nyo, galing siya sa mga gangs, right? I used to walk like a one-man army, fighting with the attitudes thrown at me, living like I was in hell, knowing that I could not bear. Say what you need to say, say what you need to say, say what you need to say, say what you need to say. Have no fear for rejection, have no fear for regret. You better know that in the end, it's better to say too much than never to say what you need to say again. So nakalimutan na siya ng pamilya niya, hindi siya binisita, at inamputate ang kanyang legs after nun. So itong next na verse talagang relevant. Even if my family forgets me, and my family can't see my problems, even if my knees are useless, I will love with a heart wide open, wide. Say what you need to say, say what you need to say, say what you need to say, say what you need to say.
Ang sad nga naman ang song.
Good.
Pero at least release yun for ano. No,
So that was the first.
So what happened to him?
So that was the
after that?
catalyst, right? After that moment, he was able to express himself appropriately. Actually, yung relationships niya sa staff, naging mas maayos. Kasi maraming behavioral problems talaga. Nahirapan ang staff na kanya. After that, continued yung therapy namin. We wrote a bunch of songs. And then, na-release siya sa ospital. Ito yung pinaka he was looking forward to. Kasi isolated din siya. Hindi siya makalabas ng room niya dahil meron siyang infection. So, ito talaga yung pinaka-importanting part sa kanyang care. Hindi yung wound care, hindi yung surgeries. Pero ito talaga yung he looked forward to this every day that I came.
Wow. Amazing.
Yeah.
Alam mo, kung may pinaghuhugutan ka talaga sa music, no? And this system ng would bring it out sa iyo. It will release a lot of negative things.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
that is so good. So, pero nasa States ka lang, Rich.
Yes. Just
Paano ang daming
Kaya nga din ako sa Pilipinas.
Ang daming cases
Yes.
dito, Rich.
I know, Tito Ruben.
Maybe you
Hindi ka
can
ba
help start music
Oo.
therapy sa Pilipinas.
The dream is one day, hopefully, we can start something here in the Philippines. I've been
Yes.
in constant talks with UP, which is where I went to school, and I know they're very interested in music therapy.
Magpapatayo ako ng para sa iyo.
You're starting to sound like my dad.
Hospital.
But it's good. This is in fact a ministry.
It is a
Right.
ministry. I treat it
is.
as a ministry, for sure. And it's
And-
amazing what Christian music can do for a lot of
You
people.
cannot
too.
actually go through this and use this without this gift from God.
Amen.
And alam mo, a gift is always something that can be used to build people.
Yes.
You know, to edify
Edify.
them. Kaya nga dito sa Lighthouse, we always teach that everybody has a role to play. Everybody has an area of service, and that is because everybody has a gift according to God's grace. And I'm so proud of you,
Oh,
Rich.
thank you, Tito Ruben.
Thank you so much. And when are you gonna go back to U.S.?
Fridays when myself and my husband and
And
my
when
son
are you
go
gonna
back.
come back? And then
We will
So
know.
the week after.
Next
But
week na.
it's been so good and napakaganda. Okay. Well, thank you again, Rich, for gracing Lighthouse kasi at nawa ay madami pa ang na-bless.
At
sa
mabless.
iyo. At mabless sa iyong occupation sa ministry na ito. Okay? At ngayon naman, samahan naman natin si Gabby at Rona upang ipagpatuloy ang usapang musikang sa ating Espresso Self.
Mga usaping in, mga paksang trending,
Mga talakayang may kabuluhan.
lifestyle at kulturang sariling atin.
Buhay Pinoy, pag-usapan natin dito sa
Espresso
Espresso Self!
Rona, may talent ka ba sa music?
Well, I sing in the choir and sometimes I also sing solo. Pero isa sa mga frustrations ko is that I don't know how to play any musical instrument. Ikaw, Gabby?
Ako pa, I love playing the radio nga lang. And I also love to sing with my son, pero sa bahay nga lang.
Wow, naks naman. Pero alam mo, wala tayong panama sa mga guests natin ngayon. They are a husband and wife tandem na talaga namang very good musicians and they also compose their original music.
Yes, Ron, I'm very excited to have them both today. Kasama natin si Mr. Melvin Rioveros, who is also the overall orchestra conductor in San Beda, Alabang. And he is also the orchestra conductor in Lighthouse Chamber Orchestra.
And of course, with him is his lovely and equally talented wife, Mariba May Rioveros, na siya namang voice mentor in the Lighthouse Theater. She is also a freelance vocal and piano teacher. Hello po, welcome po to Lighthouse Cafe.
So let's start the discussion, Ron.
Oo nga I'm interested. Kayo ba, meron kayong formal training sa music? Nag-undergo ba kayo ng formal studies? Pumasok ba kayo sa music school? Kwentuhan niyo naman kami.
Okay. Pareho kami graduate ng UST Conservatory of Music. We were trained by one of the best professors sa UST, Rodel Colmenar, who is the musical director of the Manila Philharmonic Orchestra.
Wow!
And my teacher is Miss Thea Perez.
Pero magkaiba kayo ng major?
Yeah.
Ganun ba yun?
Usually ba, ilang years para makakuha ng degree in music?
Normally, yung curriculum namin sa UST before, 4 years.
4 years lang?
4 years lang. Pero sa hirap nung to learn a craft, especially music yun. It took me 5 years. Then during my stay sa UST, I was part of different groups like the Manila Philharmonic Orchestra, Manila Symphony Orchestra, and I had the chance also to perform with the Philippine Philharmonic Orchestra.
Dami! Sis, ano naman, Miss May?
Ako naman, kasi nagkaroon ako ng problem sa aking vocal cords. So I have to go with may operation. Yes. So instead of 6 years, naging 8 years ako.
So during
Yes.
college, nagkaroon ka ng problem with your voice?
Overuse of my voice.
Sobra.
Mahilig mag-concert.
Wow!
Yes.
Alam mo, Gabby, hindi lahat ng colleges and universities ay nag-o-offer ng music degrees, ano? Kwentuhan nyo naman kami dun sa process. Parang may auditions pa
Yeah,
yata
yeah.
yan.
Yeah,
Ano
may
bang
auditions,
pinagdaanan ninyo bago kayo nakapasok sa College of Music?
Yes. For me, kasi nung nag-aaral pa ako ng high school, nag-aral na ako sa UP Conservatory sa Diliman to preparation for my audition sa
Okay.
UST Conservatory. And then, yun, nag-audition ako and pumasa naman ako by God's grace. And then, napunta pa nga ako sa pinakamagaling na teacher sa voice.
Oh, wow!
Yes.
And Mr. Melvin po.
Ako naman, nag-start ako as a member ng isang concert band sa Muntinlupa. Then nakita ko ng mga friends ko na member na rin ng UST, nag-aaral din sa UST. They asked me, pwede kang mag-aaral sa UST? Okay, then ayun, binigyan ako ng scholarship and I had the chance to perform with many
Scholars pala yung mga
Wow.
guests
Ay,
natin
bigatin
ngayon.
talaga.
Talking about music, obviously parang it's a love for music, di ba?
Yeah, passion siya.
Was it as young as mga nasa preschool pa lang kayo, na-discover niyo na yung love for music?
I remember may picture yung parents ko. Grade 1 ata ako, nag-aaral ako ng bandurya.
Bandurya.
Ayan, then siguro high school na ako, nagsumali ako sa isang parang lyre band, yung mga percussion. Then, yun, parang doon nagsimula yung hobby ko. Then, I was part of the marching band, concert band. Then, yun yung parang stepping stones. Sige, pwede ka mag-music. Yun, that's why nakasama ako, nakapag-aral ako sa UST.
Si Miss May, mula
Sa akin
pagkabata,
naman,
kumakanta ka na.
pagkabata, yung aking father napaka-devoted sa pag-training sa akin. Na, yung karaoke, di ba, nung mga panahon namin. yung
dati.
yung
Okay, training
yung
yan.
gano'n na karaoke. So, Pagkagising ko, pinapakanta niya na
Mga
ako
minus
agad.
1 yan, multiplex.
Side A, side B, tape 1, tape 2, tape 3, tape 4. Yes.
Tapos nire-record din siguro paminsan.
Parang nung pinagbubuntis yata, pinapaparamis na siya eh. Kaya pala na-overuse yun.
Kasi naririnig daw nila ako nung bata na parang kumakanta-kanta. So, si Papa, trinay niya ako. Siya yung unang naging teacher ko, pero magandang boses niya.
Wow!
Hindi.
So, curious lang din ako, no, yung music, yung love for it, and yung talent nyo doon, it runs in the family? Or ilan ba sa inyo ang...
Sa akin, yung lolo ko, sabi ng father ko, nagpo-flute din.
Oh.
Yung father ng father ko. And then, yung aking little brother naman, na si Michael, is taking cello sa Conservatory of Music din.
Curious ako, Rona. We're talking about the instruments.
Yes, yes.
Bakit ba tayo, Melvin? Paano mo na-discover din kung ano yung gusto mong instrument?
Discover kasi, nung nasa marching band ako, concert band, I was playing the trumpet. Tapos sabi nung, medyo marami kaming trumpet player sa banda namin. Sabi, pwede ka mag-French horn. Then I was asked to perform. Na mukhang kaya ko rin naman siya. Then ayun yung naging major instrument ko sa UST.
What about Miss May? Aside from singing, you mentioned nag-flute ka rin.
Yeah,
Other
and-
instruments?
Ha?
May other instruments ka rin ba?
Piano and flute, yes.
Very talented pala
Yes.
yung guest natin.
Kaya nga, ang dami nilang piniplay ng
Share ko
musical
lang
instruments.
actually, nag-aral ako ng flute kasi natutuwa ako sa tunog niya. Yan, nung nasa conservatory ako, na may naririnig ako, nagpa-practice ng flute, and then sabi ko, ang ganda naman kasi para siyang boses din ng tao, di ba? Para siyang ibon. So sabi ko, since kumakanta ako, parang gusto ko rin siyang aralin.
Imagine voice major siya, pero she ventured into playing the flute. Interesting. Kami ni Gabby kasi may mga anak kami, ano? And sana, hopefully, one day, ay matuto rin silang mag-play ng instruments. What do you think is the proper age kung kailan pwede i-introduce ang pagtugtog?
Maybe siguro mga 5 years old. Pwede sila mag-start sa piano. Medyo pag natutunan sila medyo
Read
magbasa
ng
ng notes, and ma-feel nila yung rhythm and everything, they can change it to transfer to a different, like
Why 5?
violin.
Why 5 exactly?
Normally kasi sa atin kasi medyo mas mabilis na yung makapick up sila. Pero in different countries, like mayroon ka nakikita sa YouTube na 3 years old kaya na mag-play ng violin. Then the other day nakakita lang ako ng siguro mga 2 years old, nagka-French horn na. Yan, hirap-hirap nun. Pero yun.
Depende sa attention span ng bata.
Pinag-uusapan natin yung background nila, Rona, like yung educational and yung pinagmulan nila. What's good about our guest today? Very involved din sila sa ministry.
Wow.
So can you tell us more about your involvement in the ministry?
Ministry. Before kasi siguro sa encourage din ng ating pastor, ng Pastor Ruben, parang we plan to have, parang gusto rin namin magkaroon ng parang orchestra or group. That's why na-encourage kami kay Pastor na we can have our own orchestra. Before nag-start lang siya ng piano, like si Otet, Joses, guitar, and other instruments. Then, after a few years, nakapag-train din kami ng mga violin players and cello. For example, nagkaroon din kami ng mga students na nakapag-aral din ng music.
Kumbaga lumaki na.
Yeah, lumaki na, nag-expand na rin siya. Ngayon, may kagagraduate lang ni Koy. And in the future, we're going to have a graduate na ng UST, si Michael, who's playing the cello.
So yun yung sa Lighthouse Chamber Orchestra, no? And you're also involved with the Lighthouse Theater, where you also compose original music, tama ba?
Yes.
Kwentuhan nyo naman kami doon sa involvement nyo doon.
Yun. Actually, yung director ng Lighthouse Theater, si Miss Gina Manawis, is nagbibigay siya sa amin ng, for example, yung lyrics. Then, sinasabi niya kung anong mood.
And the story.
Yes, kung anong story. And then, yun, kami naman, syempre, to be inspired, makikinig din kami ng mga musicals, ganyan. And then, pagka medyo inspired na, or in the mood na kami, yun, gagawa kaming, actually, nagkulong pa kami nun sa isang condo eh.
Para to make
yung
the
team.
music.
Oo. With the
Pinapayata
other.
namin.
Yes.
What
Yes.
exactly inspires you gumawa? Ano yung pinanghuhugutan niyo kumbaga?
I mean, siguro vision na rin na ating pastor na magkaroon tayo ng ganung group na ma-share natin yung gospel. Hindi lang sa atin, syempre tayo yung nakakapanood sa ibang tao.
And ano yung fulfillment na nakukuha nyo from, using the gifts that the Lord has given you for the ministry?
Siyempre, sarap yung feeling kasi siyempre, yung gift na binigay sa'yo ng Panginoon, gagamitin mo para sa Kanya. And ayun, so far, ako, ginagamit ko yung pagkakanta ko para sa Kanya. And yun, saka palagi rin ine-extend rin ng Panginoon kung binibigyan mo siya ng maraming talent, ine-extend pa ng Panginoon at pinapalago pa niya. Like yun nga, yung composition and arrangement. Actually, hindi naman talaga ako, pero siya, oo.
Pero ngayon, pati ikaw.
Pero ako, by God's gift.
Yeah.
That is such a blessing, Rona.
That's
I mean,
true.
yung talents and gifts being used for the edification of others to bring glory to God.
Tama.
So, pasalamat na tayo, Rona.
Thank
kay,
you very
Melvin.
much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you
And
din
Ms.
for
May for
having us.
sharing
Yes.
your testimony with us.
To cap off this segment on music, let's listen to the young ladies singers of Lighthouse for their rendition of the song, All of This.
How vast is grace, how good is faithfulness, how deep is love, how rich is mercy, how high is thoughts,
Welcome to Hebrews. Ito po ang bahagi ng ating Lighthouse Cafe na naglalayon na bigyan tayo ng gabay, ng mga prinsipyo, mga katotohanan mula sa banal na kasulatan para matulungan ang ating personal na buhay, buhay sa pamilya, at kahit sa buhay sa ministry o sa eklesiya, sa church. At sa bahagi po ng episode na ito, ay pinag-uusapan natin ang tungkol sa kung paano ang musika, ang pag-awit, ang pagkanta ay ginagamit ng effective sa ministry, sa church. Bakit nga po ba hindi nawawala ng music sa mga churches, sa mga pagsamba, sa mga tinatawag nating mga worship services? Alam niyo po, ang buhay Kristiyano ay ever since, magmula nang nagkaroon ng pananampalataya sa Diyos, ay kinilala ang relationship na ito na puno ng kagalakan, puno ng mga pagpapala mula sa ating Panginoon. Okay? And magmula pa nung Old Testament sa banal na kasulatan ay makikita natin. In fact, even before the foundation of the world, doon po sa Job ay sinasabi, when the morning stars sang together, and all the sons of God shouted for joy. And that's found in Job chapter 38 and verse 7. Kaya po, every time na pinag-uusapan ang kadakilaan ng Diyos, ang kanyang pag-ibig, ang kanyang lahat po ng attributes ng ating Diyos, ay ito'y sinasamahan din ng joy, ng praises. Kung kaya, pati nagmula sa mga anghel, naalala niyo po ba, nung pinanganak ang ating Panginoong Jesus, the heavens, ang sabi doon sa banal na kasulatan, it was filled with praises ng mga heavenly host, praising God and saying glory to God in the highest and goodwill to man. Kung kaya nga po, dahil ang buhay Kristiyano ay nagsisimula sa ating Diyos, ito po'y puspos ng kagalakan. At yung tunay na mga may pananampalataya sa ating Diyos ang may ganitong eksperyensya, may ganitong kagalakan. Christian life is not an empty life. However, na siguro po nanonood kayo ngayon, ay hindi nyo pa na-eksperyensyahan ang pagtiwala kay Kristo bilang Panginoon tagapagligtas, ang pagtanggap sa Kanya. Subalit, the Christian life is marked by many things. A changed life, a blessed life, a life, ang sabi nga ng ating Panginoon, na with abundance, I give to them abundant life, even more abundantly. Yan ang sinasabi po ng banal na kasulatan. In fact, nang pasimula po na ang ating Panginoong Jesus ay nasa lupang ito at sinimulan niya ang gawain ng eklesiya at siya ang pastor at ang mga apostoles ang kanyang mga miyembro, ay umaawit po sila ng hymns. Okay? Umaawit sila ng mga papuri sa Diyos. In fact, yan po ay nakalagay doon sa Matthew 26 and verse 30. Ang sinasabi, and when they sang an hymn, they went out into the Mount of Olives. And this happened when the Lord Jesus Christ after He instituted the Lord's Supper, before they went to Mount of Olives. Ibig sabihin po, naging kaugalian na at naging practice na ng mga gawain ng Panginoon ang umawit, ng mga papuri at mga hymns. Doon sa Ephesians, chapter 5 and verses 19 and verse 20, ang sabi, speaking to yourselves in psalms and hymns and spiritual songs and making melody in your heart to the Lord. And then in Colossians chapter 3 and verse 16, ang sabi, let the word of Christ dwell in you richly in all wisdom, teaching and admonishing one another in psalms and hymns and spiritual songs, singing with grace in your hearts to the Lord, and how God gives to us abundant blessings according to His grace, ay umaakyat din po naman sa Kaniya, sa ating Panginoon, with all these blessings, with all this grace that's flowed down to us, ay ibinabalik po natin ang lahat sa Kanya ng may papuri at pasasalamat. Kaya nga po, napakaganda ng mayroong musika, at ito ay katanggap-tanggap sa ating Panginoong Diyos. Pagpalain po kayo ng Panginoon. Mag-awitan po tayo palagi ng papuri sa Kanya.
Isa sa mga deadliest but treatable diseases sa buong mundo ay ang tuberculosis. Dito sa Pilipinas, pang-anim ang TB sa leading cause of death kung saan 73 Filipinos ang namamatay dahil sa sakit na ito kada araw.
Nakakalungkot pero totoo yan, Daislyn. Idagdag mo pa dyan na ang Pilipinas ay ang pangwalo sa buong mundo ang may pinakamaraming nagkakasakit ng tuberculosis. Actually, noong 2014, halos 300,000 ng mga Pilipino ang nagka-TB at mahigit 10,000 dito ay namatay.
Itinuturing din ang TB na disease of poverty at ang mataas na bilang ng mga nagkakasakit nito ay maaaring magsabi ng estado ng lipunan ng isang bansa. To raise awareness about this disease, we're one with the nation in celebrating August as National Tuberculosis Awareness Month. Doc Lea, para sa mga hindi po nakakaalam, ano po ba ang sakit na TB?
Ang TB, Daislyn, ay tinatawag nating tuberculosis, ito ay isang dulot ng isang bakterya na tinatawag na Mycobacterium tuberculosis, na kung saan ang bakterya na ito ay ang primary target niya ay ang lungs natin, ang baga. At ito ay nakukuha natin through droplets. So, ibig sabihin, pag tayo ay nag-hatching, o kaya tayo ay umubo, o kaya ay nagdura, and even pagtawa o pagkanta, ay pwede tayong makakuha ng bakterya na yan. Pero ito ay nakakahawa, pero ito ay hindi mabilis makapasok sa ating katawan. Dahil ito ay kailangan ng prolonged exposure doon sa taong may infections ng Mycobacterium tuberculosis bago ang isang tao ay mahawaan.
Okay, kaya po pala ang daming kaso nito sa atin. Pero ano po bang mga sintomas nitong sakit na ito?
Ang usual na sintomas ng tuberculosis, Daislyn, ay naobserbahan ng isang tao ay ang pag-ubo niya ay matagal. So, meron kasi tayong ubong normal o kay ubong viral infections lang. Pero ito, pag naging bacteria na, kagaya ng pag ang ubo ay more than 3 weeks na, actually 2 to 3 weeks na, ay pwede na tayong mag-suspect na ang isang tao ay may TB. Kasama dito, pag ang ubo ay may kasamang dugo, yan, nangangayayat, tapos ang lagnat niya ay usually every afternoon, tapos walang ganang kumain, tapos even nag-chills.
Okay. With the symptoms po, meron po bang test na makakapag-confirm ng sakit na ito?
Maraming diagnostic procedures na pwede natin ma-confirm na may TB ang isang tao, Daislyn. Number 1 dito, usually nire-request namin ang X-ray. So, chest X-ray, nakikita na talaga kasi dito kung ang isang tao ay may active TB o kaya may inactive TB na tinatawag. Pangalawa, pwede rin yung dura, yung sputum exam. So, actually, ang confirmatory test ng tuberculosis ay sputum exam and also chest X-ray. Pero marami din ibang diagnostic, kagaya ng CT scan of the lungs at saka blood exam.
Okay. Nabanggit niyo po kanina yung inactive TB po, or yung latent tuberculosis. Sabi nga po sa isang research na 1/3 daw po ng buong bansa ay nagkakaroon daw po nun. Ano po bang pagkakaiba ng latent tuberculosis sa active TB po?
Pag sinabi natin latent, may tinatawag tayong latent tuberculosis infections at saka active tuberculosis infection. Pag sinabi natin latent, yung bacteria na Mycobacterium tuberculosis nasa loob na ng katawan natin. Pero inactive siya. So, ibig sabihin, nandyan lang siya, yung tao ay pwedeng normal pa, walang mga simptomas at hindi pa ito nakakahawa sa ibang tao. So, ibig sabihin, dapat ang immune system natin mataas para sa ganun, itong latent tuberculosis ay hindi mag-proceed into active TB. Pag sinabi natin active TB, ito na yung mga may manifestation na ang pasyente, na meron na yung mga simptomas na nabanggit kanina at nakakahawa na siya.
Okay. So, parang dormant lang po pala siya sa ating katawan. Paano po natin may iwasang ma-activate ang sakit na ito at maging active TB?
So, ibig sabihin, Daislyn, may iwasan natin ang sakit na magiging active siya kung kailangan natin magkaroon ng sapat na malakas na resistensya sa katawan. So, dapat kailangan natin palakasin ang ating immune system. Kasi since ang target nito, once na bumaba ang immune system natin, yung dormant na TB
bacilli ay pwedeng maging active. So, kailangan mga vitamins, ibuboost natin immune boosters vitamins, kagaya ng mga vitamin C, multivitamins, tapos iyon nga, sapat na tulog, ang pagkain ng ng husto, at also mag-exercise syempre.
Paano po, Doc, pag hindi po agad na agapan ito? Meron po bang iba pang complications ng TB?
Marami ang complications ng TB, Raislyn. So, tuberculosis can be fatal without treatment. So, ibig sabihin, yung bacteria na yon ay pwedeng pumunta sa mga iba-ibang parte ng katawan natin, kagaya ng spine, which is magkakaroon ng TB of the spine. Pwede rin yung mga joints natin, so yung mga tuberculosis arthritis na tinatawag. At pwede rin pumunta sa mga iba't ibang organs ng ating katawan, kagaya ng mga major organs, heart, the liver, the kidney. So lahat yun pwedeng i-target ng tuberculosis.
Okay. Pero meron po bang usual treatment na ginagamit po dito?
Actually, ang treatment ng TB o kaya tuberculosis, Raislyn, medications is the cornerstone for the treatment of tuberculosis. So, ibig sabihin, madali lang gamutin ang tuberculosis. Ang gobyerno natin ay suportado sa mga pasyente na may TB. So, ibig sabihin, may pondo ang gobyerno para sa treatment nito. May tinatawag tayong TB dots. Pag napapansin nyo, pag may mga health center na may nakalagay TB dots, so ibig sabihin, ang gamutan ng TB ay libre. So, ang pasyente na may suspected o kaya may TB na na-confirm na, kailangan lang niyang pumunta sa isang TB dots health center para sa ganun, ang gamutan niya ay doon mismo sa health center na yon. So, binibigay actually ito ng mga midwives, mga health providers na nandun sa center na yon.
Okay po.
And usually, it takes 6 to 9 months ang gamutan para ma-complete yung gamutan na yon. So, pag sinabi natin kasing TB dots, ito yung tuberculosis direct observational therapy. So, ibig sabihin, yung compliance ng patients pag meron TB ay nag-i-improve kasi doon niya mismo sa harap ng health provider iniinom ito. At para maiwasan na rin natin yung tinatawag nating multiple drug resistance. Iyon ang nakakatakot, Raislyn. Kasi sa ngayon, ang dami ng, since ang country natin ay TB country talaga, so lahat tayo pwedeng ma-infect, depende na lang sa immune system natin. So, ibig sabihin kasi, maraming nag-uumpisa ang treatment, pero hindi nila ito natatapos. Kaya nagkakaroon sila ng drug resistance. At nakakatakot ito, Raislyn, dahil once na drug resistance ka na sa mga ibang anti-TB drugs, ibig sabihin, higher anti-TB drugs na ang ibibigay sa'yo. So, pag ganon, yung pag mas higher antibiotics or anti-TB drugs, higher din ang side effects nito sa ating katawan.
Okay. So, kailangan po pala masipag po, no, na nagpapatreat.
Yes.
Okay. So, Doc, meron po ba kayong mga iba pang tips or reminders po sa mga manonood para maagapan po ang sakit na ito?
Yeah. So, ang TB, since ang TB ay madaling gamutin sa ating populasyon ngayon, so pag kayo ay nagkakaroon ng ubo o kay sipon, lalo na yung ubo natin ay medyo masama na ang pakiramdam natin and it took 2 to 3 weeks ng ubo, kailangan na natin magpakonsulta sa ating mga doktor at kailangan natin palakasin ang ating mga immune system, mag-take tayo ng mga vitamins, para sa ganon ay hindi tayo madalas kapitan ng mikrobyo na ito. Tapos, kailangan din natin ang sapat na pagkain, masustansyang pagkain, at the same time yung exercise and also yung tawag nito, pagtulog natin ng sapat.
Ay, okay. Okay, thank you po, Doc. Ayan po, napakarami na naman po nating insights na natunghayan ngayon tungkol sa tuberculosis. And thank you po ulit sa napaka-informative na discussion.
Yes, thank you din, Raislyn. Lagi nating tandaan na napakalaga ng ating kalusugan. At ito ay biyaya mula sa ating Panginoon. Hindi tayo magiging produktibo sa araw-araw na ating ginagawa kung hindi malusog ang ating pangangatawan.
Thank you for that biblical insight, Doc Lea. Samahan niyo po kami muli sa susunod na linggo para sa isa na namang makabuluhang usapan dito sa ating Doc Talks!
Thank you for having joined us in our talks today here at the Lighthouse Cafe. And we hope that you found everything sa ating program very helpful at informative sa ating lahat. Be with us again next week as the Lighthouse Bible Baptist Church once more brings to you another episode of the Lighthouse Cafe. where good talks happen.
The place
where good talks happen.
Welcome to Lighthouse Cafe.